The question is, should you get a CT coronary heart scan to get your heart calcium score? Is it worth it? Well, I recently had one, and I want to go ahead and give you a little information on why I had it done, what the results were, and if I think it was worth it. For a little bit of background, I am 59, well, I'll be 59 next month. I am a former athlete in high school and in college. I do work out 4 to 5 times a week, but I don't eat great. I eat pizza at least once a week, maybe twice a week. I love pizza. I do like some sweet food. I love cheesecake and tiramisu. So I don't eat great, but I do work out. And my cholesterol isn't the greatest. It's not super high, but it's always on that borderline of being high normal to a little bit high. And my last doctor exam, my doctor said, well, he knows I work out, and I've done a stress test before, and I'll ace the stress test. You know, I'll go 17, 18 minutes on the stress test at age 58 or 59, and it's basically in the 90th to 95 percentile. So he wasn't concerned with that, but my cholesterol always being up a little bit high. So he asked me if I've ever had a CT heart calcium scan done, and I never had. And he asked if I'd like to get it done. He did tell me that usually insurance doesn't pay for it, but he thought it'd probably be about $100. And I said, yeah, sure, I'd love to have that scan done so I can know whether or not I have any calcification built up in my arteries to my heart at my age, knowing that I don't eat great, but I do work out. So I was curious, and he wrote an order. So you're gonna need an order if you do get it done. And when he wrote me the order, I called a place that does them, and I confirmed with them that health insurance usually doesn't cover it. Why? I have no idea. But the total cost out of pocket will be $110. And I said, yeah, sign me up. And they had an appointment the very next day. So I went ahead and scheduled it. And they told me that there was no prep, you don't have to fast, except no caffeine 4 hours prior to the exam and no antihistamines. So I said, great. So I went in for the test. You lay in a CAT scan machine with your arms up, you have your shirt off, and the machine pulls you in and out, and it tells you breathe out, okay, breathe in, hold your breath, and then pulls you back out, go ahead and breathe. It does that like 4 or 5 times for about 5 seconds, maybe 7 seconds, and it's done within about 10 minutes. I got the results the very next day, and I was a little concerned. Okay, is my CT calcium score going to show that it's high, a little high, too high? You know, I watched some YouTube videos, and so I was curious, but they do a pretty detailed report, and I want to go ahead and show it to you. First off, with no insurance, total cost paid was $110, and they took payment up front. Where you live, I'm not sure what the cost would be, but doing some research on the internet, I found people were writing they paid $90 to $150. I paid $110. So I'll tell you afterwards if I think it was worth it. So on my CT scan, it said you have no detectable cholesterol plaque buildup in the arteries which supply blood flow to your heart. So I was happy to see that. The reason for the test is because I have higher cholesterol. My CT score, which I was pleasantly surprised, was a 0.0. Findings. It looks at cholesterol buildup in different arteries. You have an LMA, a 0.0, LCX artery, 0.0 on the calcium buildup. You have an LAD, and research I did on that, that's one of the main arteries, and that's what they call the widowmaker artery. If you have plaque buildup or that clogs up, that heart attack can kill you, or they call it a widowmaker. RCA 0, PDA 0.0. My total calcium score was a 0.0, so I was ecstatic, and I was a little bit surprised, thinking, really? It does say that they suggest that I have the scan repeated in 5 to 10 years, which makes sense. But why I think this test is really worth it too is that it looks at other things. It looks at your heart size, which were normal, your lungs, which is very important. It shows my lungs were clear. And I'm not a smoker, but I know people have gotten lung cancer that weren't smokers. And an example being my mother got lung cancer and she wasn't a smoker at age 66. And she died at age 67 and she wasn't a smoker. So I didn't know it was going to check my lungs. So I think that's very important, even if you're not a smoker. This right here, I'm not sure where that is, but it's normal. But it scanned my upper abdomen and it found a small hiatal hernia. And I had no idea that I had a small hiatal hernia. And it's not a big issue. I looked it up and a lot of people do have them, but I had no idea. My doctor didn't know. I didn't know. And I'll be 59 next month. So I think it's important to get your calcium, your CT calcium calcification score to see where you sit to make determinations of what you need to do to help out your heart health or your arteries with your doctor. But I think finding out I had a small hiatal hernia where I didn't know, my doctor didn't know, is very important. And scanning my heart size and my lungs, I think it's very important. So do I think it's worth $110? Without a doubt. With my insurance, I have a high deductible HSA insurance. A doctor visit costs about $150 to $170 for a 20-minute doctor visit where the doctor talks to you, maybe orders some blood tests. This is without blood tests. Listens to your heart and listens to your lungs, and my portion's 170. This is 110. This is much more thorough. Gives me a window into my heart, my lungs, my heart size, and my upper abdomen. Hey, you got a small hiatal hernia. So I think this costs less. It's a quick test. Definitely worth it. So much worth it that I had my wife make an appointment with her doctor, go to her doctor, request that her doctor give her an order for the same scan. And we scheduled the appointment. She was able to get it 2 days later, paid $110 and got the scan herself. So is it worth it? One of the best things I think you can do to get a window into how your arteries are, whether or not there's some calcification, especially if you're in your 50s, maybe even 40s, but in your 50s like me, I'm getting close to 60. I don't eat great. Like I said, I love pizza, I love cheesecake, I love tiramisu, but I do exercise, and maybe that's what's benefiting me. And just to let you know, on the exercise, 4 to 5 days a week, probably closer to 5 days a week. I don't go that long because I figured if you go really hard and long, you're not going to go ahead and stick with it for a long time. So I'll go 30 minutes. Every time I work out, it's 30 minutes, 30-minute jog on the treadmill, 30-minute on my assault bike, or I'll do HIIT workouts, which is high intensity workouts, which are sort of like calisthenics. There's burpees, there's jumping lunges, there's push-ups, there's core work, there's high knees, stuff like that. So my advice, if you're in your 50s, probably even your 40s or your 60s, yeah, get this test done, because for the cost, and research how much it costs, call ahead and get, okay, what's my out-of-pocket going to be? But for $110, it's probably the best $110 I spent, including my wife, $110 for her. I can go to the grocery store, buy a little bit of food, and I walk out of there and it's $180, $190. So definitely worth it. I just thought I'd do this video to help share what I believe is maybe very helpful medically for a lot of people out there, because it definitely was for both me and my wife. So we all have choices and decisions to make, and I think this is one of the most important choices or decisions you can make, especially if you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. Go ahead and get this done. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you have a good holiday season, and all the best to you. Take care. Bye.